The gospel that we heard today comes from Luke's account of the Passion, because we're in year C, and so it's a 3-year cycle. So we hear from Luke's gospel today, and so I wanted to just pick out one element that's distinctive to Luke's gospel. So we hear it in Luke and we don't hear it in the others. There are a few, but I just want to pick out one. It's the moment where from the cross, Jesus says, "Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing." There's a guy in the parish who very often says to me in one way or another as he talks about his faith journey, perhaps going from somebody who was at Mass at least a chunk of the time, but certainly not every Sunday. It wasn't at the very centre and heart of his life. And then he went on a journey really of deepening and discovering his faith in a deeper way, a journey, of course, like all of us, that still continues. But he often says, you don't know what you don't know. And his point being that we don't realise always what's on offer. Perhaps we think we know what faith means, what it means to be a Catholic. Perhaps we're confident we know what we are to celebrate this week means. But my friend here would say, you don't know what you don't know. And I was reminded of that when we hear the words of Jesus from the cross. Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. There's two parts to that. The first one is that Jesus is saying here to the people who've crucified him, they don't know what they're doing. They don't realise. But you see, that's all of us. We don't know what we don't know as well, because we're all complicit in the death of Jesus. Peter will make this clear on his first homily, his first sermon on the Feast of Pentecost. He says, you didn't realise you were crucifying the Lord of glory. You couldn't have known. But that's true of all of us. We've all got our part to play in that. Every time that we have rejected God, every time that we've refused to love, we're caught up in the death of Jesus. We're part of the events, the drama that led to his cross. We obviously weren't there physically, historically even. But in terms of the spiritual significance of what took place, we're all complicit in it. We've all got our part to play. And here from the cross, Jesus says, forgive them. They didn't know what they were doing. From the cross, we hear these words of forgiveness that take us right to the very heart of Easter. That Jesus' death on the cross was to bring about our forgiveness. I think about how easily, when I feel wronged, how easily hurt I feel by that, and how easily I'm tempted to unforgiveness, to resentment, to desiring a revenge of some sort or another. Please God, it rarely translates into action, but I think about how easy that is and how trivial it often can be. Perhaps you know what I mean. Listen to the words of Jesus of the people who crucified him, the people who nailed him to the tree. Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. There's no word of condemnation, there's no word of judgment, there's no desire for vengeance or retribution. It's only a word of forgiveness. It's only a word of love. Jesus invites us to realize that we don't know what we don't know. I want to say to you that wherever you are on the journey of faith, there's more for you. Whatever you have known of God in your life, there's more to be discovered. If you're here today for whatever reason and you're saying, I'm not even sure what that looks like, I want to promise you that the Lord would want you to know that you are forgiven. That from the cross he's accomplished all that was necessary, all that was required, so that we might know the perfect and unconditional love of God. Not as a theory, not as a nice idea, not as a concept, but as the reality, as the truth. Not just simply of what Jesus has done, but the truth of our lives. As we celebrate Eucharist then together on this Passion Sunday, let's ask the Lord for him to show us more deeply his forgiveness. We didn't know what we were doing. Let's pray that we might what might be revealed to us is a greater awareness, a greater insight into just what it is that God has done for us on the cross.